That was awesome. I must say that I'm often not used to listening to very long profiles about myself because, like Paul, I consider all these as, you know, each day I try to do a golden deed, and I often, was it last week, I did a quick post on Facebook. People kept calling me and were like, are you bidding us farewell? Are you leaving us, or is something happening? I said, no, but on a daily basis, we must live as though we have 24 hours, because that is the beginning of impact. And what I shared on Facebook was, each day I do a golden deed by helping those who are in need. My life on earth is but a span, and so I'll do the best I can. Life evening sun is sinking low. A few more days, and I must go to meet the deeds that I have done, where there will be no setting sun. Ladies and gentlemen, we must live each day as though it is the only day we have. It is based on this inspiration that I want to officially welcome each and everyone to the Medina constituency. And I want to say a very big thank you to Prophet Brian Amwatin for this opportunity to be part of this great event that we need at this time and at this age. I celebrated my 43rd birthday and 11th wedding anniversary this year at Kumasi last month. And I was in Kumasi for a wedding ceremony. And on the 13th of February, I was returning back to Accra and decided to wash my car at Ejisu. So whilst at Ejisu, I met a young guy who came and hurriedly cleaned the car. And just when I was about leaving, there was another guy who came in who works with audit service. So he made me out and said, Honorable Sosu, it is nice meeting you here. As soon as the young guy heard that remark, he turned to me and said, oh, Honorable, so we a member of parliament here, Mamin Kamasem Enchro. To wit, if you're a member of parliament, let me tell you my story. And I'm saying, so, what is the issue? So he said, I am 32 years old, and I'm the first of family of 10. I completed University of Education and obtained second class honors in environmental science in 2019. And I did my national service with Foods and Drugs Board. But since then, Honorable, life has become so unbearable. I am unable to get a job. And because of that, I had to return back to Effigiasi in the new Dwaben municipality. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a graduate with second class upper, with no job, living with his old parents in a village with 9 other siblings. Life was so unbearable that he had to resort to what is popularly known as car wash, so he can make 20 Ghana cedis a day to be able to survive. So I asked him, so where are your siblings and what are they doing? He said, even if me, I have finished the university with a second class and yet with no job, Honorable, nothing can be said of them. Everyone in the family is almost destroyed. This is the story of young J. Odro Isaac. And I invited him to be part of today's event. Unfortunately, he's not gotten here yet, but he's from Kumasi and will be part of this year's iYES. Because I believe that through a forum like this, he is likely to find new inspiration to redefine his life. Ladies and gentlemen, stories like this are the realities of Ghana today. Whilst I admit that part of the reasons for non-existence of job is leadership failure in Africa, because successive governments in Africa, and for that matter in Ghana, have failed to make the requisite investment in the productive sector, service sector, agriculture sector, and also failed to create the needed environment for the survival and participation of private businesses that have the potential of turning out the needed jobs. I also believe that there is a clear disconnect between the job market and the kind of training our young graduates undergo today in Ghana. And not until we are able to find the balance, the situation is not likely to change in the foreseeable future. But I believe, again, that occasions like this gives us the opportunity not to only think outside the box, but must begin to think as though there is no box at all. It is enough to continue thinking outside the box. We've gotten to a position where we must go beyond boxes. We don't need to think like there is even a box anymore. And that is what I believe this event is going to present us. The question is, if you look at all the challenges that we have in our society today, who do we blame? It is so easy to lay blames. And many times, every individual, and including most young people, believe that the world owes us something. And we owe the world nothing. And so most often than not, it is so easy to blame your math teacher for failure in maths. It's so easy to blame your English teacher for failure in English. It's so easy to blame your parents as the reasons why your life did not meet the kind of, opportunities or the kind of life you desire for yourself. But it is time for us to take personal obligation of our life. Where society fails us, we don't need to fail ourselves. Where we see darkness, we must be the light. Where there is negativity, we must bring positive energy. Where there is despair, we must be a shining hope. It is against this background that I consider this year's theme as very apt and appropriate. The theme for this year's event is not only apt and appropriate, but also timely, considering the current challenges we face as a people. The devastating effect of COVID-19 pandemic has further exacerbated the twin challenges of unemployment and economic hardship, which has already been experienced by the youth in Ghana. Indeed, before COVID-19 pandemic, unemployment was on a high, inflation was on a rise, interest rates had entered double digits, and the economy was in a decline, resulting in high cost of living, leading to reduced standard of living. As we speak today, the 2021 population and housing census conducted by the Ghana Statistical Service shows that Ghana's population has increased from 24,658,823 in 2010 to 30,832,019 in 2021. With the current rate of unemployment being 13.4%. In nominal terms, this 13.9% represents 1.55 million people who are economically active and yet do not have jobs. The age categorization of this population shows that between the ages of 15 and 24 years, who are unemployed stands at 32.8%. Now, in nominal terms, we are saying that about 10.1 million young people in Ghana who are ready to work but do not have jobs. That is how bad our situation is as a people. This situation, according to our national security strategy document, makes the issue of youth unemployment a national security concern. This is because no nation can fully guarantee its continuous stability when majorities of its young people are living in hopelessness. That is the reason why the first solution is a mind shift. It is a mind shift. Are you ready to shift your mind? Oh no, I can't hear you. Are you ready to shift your mind? Are you ready to shift your mind? I believe that our leaders must shift their mind. Our leaders must do what? No, I can't hear you. I said our leaders must do what? Our teachers must do what? Public servants must do what? Lecturers must do what? Taxi drivers must do what? Lawyers must do what? Judges must do what? Police officers must do what? We need a mind shift as a people if anything is going to change in this country. For those of us in leadership, this means to break away from the regular way of doing things. I believe that all the issues we see as problems are also opportunities for us to do new things. For me personally, in Medina, I was inspired by this approach of mind shifting to use all the challenges that we have as an opportunity to start new ways of doing things. And I believe that that is the reason why a lot of people today can resort to the Medina story and see the number of things that have happened in Medina. In about 15 months of my work as a member of parliament, many can attest to the major interventions in Medina and in parliament because I decided to think normally. I decided to be abnormal in my thinking. I didn't want to think the way everyone else is thinking. And you must understand that anytime you decide to shift your mind, it comes with some very strong cost, difficulties, challenges. So you must be willing to develop a mind-shifting approach to solving your problem. Together with my governance structure, I set up in my office, I introduced what we call the Medina Job Center. Now, the Medina Job Center, we have the CEO of Medina Job Center in the house. Now, if you can give us a shout out, just give her a hi. Yes. Yes, Miss Blanche. They've done so well because in less than 1 year of the introduction of Medina Job Center, we have connected over 3,500 people to jobs in Medina. At the time, everyone is saying it is impossible. Now, the Medina Job Center created various models, such as the youth in fashion, youth in hairdressing, youth in mushroom farming, youth in website development, among many others. We launched the Medina Trade Fair and Christmas Carnival to provide a platform for local entrepreneurs and small-scale industry to exhibit their products and boost the local economy of Medina. In our effort to achieve quality education, we launched the Basic School Library Project, MP's Education Scholarship Fund, and introduced the Service Above Self Best Teacher Award, which coincidentally was sponsored by the Samson Amwati Foundation. Let's give it up to Samson Amwati Foundation. Where in the history of Ghana, the best teacher of a constituency walks home with a car. It takes a mind-shifting approach to make these things happen. In health, I introduced a health project which reached out to several constituents and set up the health fund to support constituents with their health needs that are beyond their means. My biggest goal, and this is the biggest mind-shifting opportunity that I'm looking forward to, is to set up a 1,000-bed capacity children's hospital in Damfa. Many would say, no, he's crazy. I mean, you are MP. Where will he get the money? It takes mind-shifting approach. Look, already we've been in touch with diplomatic community, philanthropists. The eminent chief of Damfa has already donated 10 acres land to build that 1,000-bed capacity hospital. So the biggest challenge we have in our country, in our leadership, is our inability to think differently about situations. Ladies and gentlemen, over the weekend, I launched the Sosu Sports Development Project, which saw the attendance of the former Black Stars players and coaches in the bid to use sports as a tool for community development. Back in Parliament, to ensure a fair, equal, and inclusive society, together with some colleagues, we introduced 4 new bills in Parliament. One, to substitute for death penalty, life imprisonment, ensure compensation for persons wrongfully arrested, detained, and incarcerated, amend the Legal Professions Act to open up legal education and to review the functions of the General Legal Council, and to prohibit practice and labeling of persons as witches, as we know in our various communities. By far, this is the first time you would have a first-time member of Parliament introducing this number of innovation. And ladies and gentlemen, the tool is mind shifting. So this is a conference you don't need to toy with. You want to follow every single session until it comes to an end, because you will find the inspiration to become the genius, the champion that you really deserve to be. Ladies and gentlemen, if I look at my journey growing up as a child, born into a family where you have a mother who is a victim of slavery, a dad who is a victim of alcoholism, and you have siblings that had difficulties with our childhood. Our very firstborn was blind. She was not born blind. She only had measles. And because my parents did not understand her condition, she became blind. And you have a secondborn dropping out of school, and I have to be the thirdborn. And going through life meant that I needed to survive on the street. On the streets of Accra, I pushed trucks, I carried loads. I was like a common kayayu. I remember when I was at St. John's Grammar School, even when I was a senior boys prefect, sometimes I would walk from Alajo Junction all the way to, you walk from Kotobabi to Alajo Junction, and just to beg for money to go to school. That was how bad it was. It got to a time when I'll be selling refresh. Now we don't have refresh. It's like Calipo. Yes. I used to sell refresh on the graphic road. And when I see my colleagues coming from school, I would dodge them. When they pass, then I resurface. Because I was battling with very low self-image at that material time. Things were practically difficult. But if you are able to move from the street to an orphanage, and from an orphanage to the bar, from the Ghana bar to the Parliament of Ghana, what more can you not do? Ladies and gentlemen, so I look into the future believing that the only guarantee to break away from the past that may be holding you down is to shift your mind. This morning, as I bring my welcome address to an end, the short welcome address to an end, let me make a proposal of the first thing you need to shift your mind on. And that is about self-belief. In the middle of all the difficulties that I found myself in, trust me, many people didn't believe in me. But I believed myself. Oh, say, I believe myself. Yeah, say, I believe myself. And friends, it doesn't matter what they think about you. It doesn't matter what they believe about you. You see, coming from the kind of background I was coming from, when you look at me, you see, you will not be the very nicely dressed student with your, school uniform well pressed, and you see, prim and proper student. No, we were ghetto students. When we are coming, you can see that these are the ghetto boys coming. So when they look at you, they know what can come out. Nothing can come out of you. And I remember very well that when I got to St. John's Grammar School, I asked her, why is it that all the senior boys prefects, they are all well pressed? I mean, their uniforms, everything is on point. I said, well, if it is only the rich that can never become senior boys prefect, I want to be the fair, poor person to break the link, you know. That one, it wasn't the 8 we were breaking something so that I can become the senior boys prefect. And guess what? At the final year, not only did I become the senior boys prefect at St. John's Grammar School, I was also the SRC president for Greater Accra Zone 5. So young children here, please believe. And self-belief does not mean that you are not going to have challenges. You will. You will have challenges. Look, I recall very well that at the junior high school, I stood for SRC secretary for Zone 5, and I lost. Because at that time, people didn't believe in my ability. They didn't believe I could do it. In 2004, in Legon, I stood for SRC president. I lost. I lost because they didn't believe. Legon, I lost. When I was doing law, I was a class captain for my law class. In the second year, we had the opportunity to contest for the law student president. When I contested, I lost. Because my colleagues in this class, they like me as a class rep, the boy, but they don't like the position. So I lost. When we got to Makola, Ghana School of Law, I stood for the Ghana School of Law presidency. I lost again. Yeah, so losing is part. When I first came to Medina constituency to contest, in 2015, it was a fierce battle, but I lost. Losing is part. But the more I lost, the more I was fortified. Each time I go down, I tell myself, hey, rise up. You are more than the losing. And every day I picked myself and I moved forward. I remember when my colleagues and I lost the presidency at the law school, I came up with a quote. The quote was, I said, look, people will not always believe what you believe. It is okay. But if you continue to believe what you believe, and you fight for what you believe, you stand for what you believe, you work for what you believe, someday they will believe what you believe. Someday. So never give up. Thank you for this platform. It is a great platform. Never give up. It doesn't matter what they are thinking. That is why someone said, if I can see it, then I can be it. If I just believe it. Come on. There's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Man. Welcome to Medina and welcome to the 2022 iYES. I believe that we will rise together and we will shift our mind. Thank you very much. God bless you. You are most welcome.
Good.